This man gets a tattoo, but this tattoo is basically going to ruin his chances at pretty much having any decent paying job. So he gets a vagina tattoo inked onto his face. And this is what's sad. The tattoo artist actually tried to talk him out of it, and he still decided to get into this whole very bad decision. So let's see. He now has a permanent vagina facial. A young man has been slammed on social media after having a tattoo of a vagina inked across his right cheek. Which, by the way, to me, it takes like a whole nother level to get a tattoo on your face in general, but to have a tattoo of a private part on your face where everyone can see that kind of takes it to a whole nother level to the point of, is this individual mentally okay? Like health wise? Because is one thing to just get like tattoos on your face of whatever, but to have it specifically that you want a vagina tattoo on your face. Like, why? So, veteran artist Michael Ralph, who's 40, was tasked with tattooing the intimate image on the face of his 26-year-old client, who has not been publicly identified. Which, by the way, what has happened in the life of a 26-year-old where they want to get a vagina tattoo on their face? The Ink Master told Need to Know Online that he initially thought the man was playing a prank when he received the raunchy request. I got a message that read, I would like to set an appointment to get a semi realistic vagina tattooed on my face, more specifically, in my sideburn. Ruff recalled. The client added that he had a limited budget and wanted to have the inking done in less than an hour. Which, I don't know. Like, why do people do this? My first thought was, am I reading this right? Ralph, who is based in Washington, D.C., said, I read it again and there was no mistake. My second thought was, did he lose a bet? After receiving the request, the tattooist told the client to wait a month to make sure it wasn't a spur of the moment decision. And to the artist's surprise, the client followed up 30 days later saying he was still interested in the ink. And again, like this just like confuses me so much because you'd think that maybe this guy will have some sort of epiphany that maybe, just maybe, this decision to get a vagina tattooed on your face may not be a great idea for your future. Maybe. Just saying. I told him it may close doors of opportunity that would be open if he didn't have a vagina tattooed on his face, that he may lose his job or not get hired in the future, Ralph stated. And the thing is, with a tattoo like this on your face, really the only jobs that you could do would be a remote job, or you basically go into business yourself, because I don't know any single business really that would be okay with having their employee having a vagina tattooed on their face meeting potential customers, because that is beyond disgusting, right? And it gives a really, really weird and bad impression, like first impression. And there's the uncensored image of the tattoo. After that, I asked him how old he was because, in my mind, if he was under 25, I might have told him he needed to wait until his brain was fully developed. So there's no regret, he added. Lucky for him, he was 26. So the customer was undeterred, and Ralph subsequently performed the inking. He took snaps of his handiwork and posted them to his Instagram page. Viewers were less than impressed by the crude tattoo, hitting out at that man for having the genitalia permanently emblazoned across his cheek. True clown behavior, one railed, before another chimed in, saying it seemed like a sad, ugly ass joke. Now, here's another thing to keep in mind, too. One, this guy that got this tattoo had some stipulations that it had to be basically within an hour because his budget really wasn't that good. He didn't really have much money. So just think about that for a second. A guy who doesn't have that much money decides to get a tattoo that will more than likely affect how much money he could potentially make. Does that make any good sense at all in terms of like financially speaking? Right? And he had 30 days to think about this, right? To like really make sure whether or not he really wanted to do something like this. And this is something that I don't really understand too. If you want to do something as crazy and extreme like this, why not get a temporary tattoo first and just see how your life is for a certain length of time? Because I think some temporary tattoos can last maybe like a few months. So why not go down that route if you're about to take a massive leap to having something like this on your face? To see whether or not you could even survive with it being on your face for longer than a few months. So while the unidentified man went viral for having a vagina tattooed on his face, a British woman recently hit headlines for having her actual vagina inked. Becky Holt, 34, had her labia inked by an artist, leaving her in an incredible amount of pain and unable to have whoopee for a month. So let's see some of these comments. For all the people that believe in a higher power and that all people are made in image of him, he sure has a wicked sense of humor. Freak Show. The new Deputy Assistant Secretary of Spent Fuel and Waste Disposition. I bet his new nickname begins with a P. In illness and addiction, treatment is recommended. Does he think that having a tattoo of one will help him get more time with a real one? No, he does not think. Any tattoo equals bumper sticker on a Ferrari. Well, I don't necessarily agree with that, but if you put a tattoo like this on someone, I don't know. The thing is, like, I understand the tattoo artist eventually giving in and doing the tattoo because they're trying to run a business. But he did try. That that tattoo artist did try to give the guy some rope so that he could maybe pull himself out of the situation instead of hanging himself with it. The closest he will come to one, the artist seems to be quite talented. Honestly, that's actually a pretty nice looking tattoo, but seriously, this type of tattoo on the face, pretty horrible. Once again, common sense went out the window to both parties. Well, the thing is, I wouldn't say to both parties because the guy warned him multiple times. The tattoo artist warned him multiple times, like, hey, do you really want to do this? Hey, wait 30 days. Hey, just understand if you were to get this tattoo, this type of tattoo, there's a high likelihood that you're going to lose your job. You might never really get hired like at any decent job as well. Like he warned him. But here's the thing too, like I don't know how much he actually charged for this tattoo. Let's just say 500 bucks. Let's just say that, right? If you're running a business, $500 could potentially be basically keeping your lights on. So I understand this tattoo artist willingly taking this thing, but he did give the guy a chance to not do it. So no regular job then. Yep. I have to laugh that they blur out the first two pictures, but the third one is okay. True or not, this is the dumbest thing I've read in months. Sounds fishy to me. It'll look sexier when the sideburn grows back in. This kid better never go to prison. Yeah, if you were to go to prison with something like that on your face, dude. Let's see, I have multiple tattoos I got 25 ish years ago. Easily the biggest regret of my life. I will only wear long sleeve tops to cover them. So embarrassing. I'd have them removed in a second if it were more affordable. Invest money in tattoo removal companies. It costs $100 an inch to have a tattoo removed. When this young man grows a real brain, he will need a lot of money to have this removed. Can you imagine spending $100 per inch of like your skin to get like tattoos removed? One, that's probably super painful. Two, it's gonna be super costly, right? Three, you probably gotta keep going there multiple times. So who knows, like maybe 6, 8, 12 weeks doing this sort of stuff, and then you gotta heal each time. That would be horrible. Where did he get the money to get the work done? How is he going to get a job with that on his face? So yeah, this is the thing. Like I wouldn't be surprised if one this guy was doing some sort of illicit activity, like underground activity, or doing something kind of like potentially bad to make some money, or he was basically getting paid unemployment and potentially getting money that way because he has some sort of budget that he's aware of where he doesn't have that much money that he has access to be able to spend on something that apparently he really wants, which is a vagina tattoo on his face. Right? Why? Why, God? Why? First, but not foremost, he should be looking to do something about the earwax or the potatoes in his ear. Then he better pray he starts getting some more facial hair going than that scraggly stuff he has, or it is going to be a long time of regret. You chose the design, and the tattooist tried to get out of it. Seems you must have wanted that tattoo, so don't complain now. Your problem, not mine. Live with it or get it altered to something else. He needs to clean his ears. This shows the intelligence of our young people. This country is doomed. He should have listened. Then again, listening and comprehension are not his strong suits. Pretty much guarantees a life on welfare. See, this is the thing, right? I don't understand why someone would purposely put them in, like, themselves in a situation where, financially speaking, they pretty much got like, almost no hope, right? Doing something like this cuts off so many opportunities for you to get a better financial life, right? And he was already in a bad financial situation because he could barely afford to pay for a very good tattoo from this artist, right? Like he literally told him like, "Hey, I don't got much money. We need to keep this to like an hour." Right? Like that's horrible, right? You're already doing bad. So, you decide to do something extremely bad so that you could even have a worse life than you were already living? Land of the free, home of the freaks. Loser decision, loser everything. You are what you eat. Yeah. Feel free to give your thoughts if you stumble upon this. To me, it's just probably one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, right? Because this guy pretty much signed the back of the lottery ticket of poverty, which is crazy to see. Like someone actually do something like this.